I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, I'm delighted to welcome back a very special guest. His name is Dr. William J. Clark. He is a trailblazing orthodontist hailing from the serene landscapes of Lundin Links and Largo in East Neck of Fife, Scotland. He is a true Renaissance man. Dr. Clark is not only a pioneer in orthodontics with inventions like twin block technique and TransForce appliances under his belt, but he is also a revered writer and artist, embodying innovation, creativity, and versatility. We're delighted to have the doctor join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Prime 7 Media for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support writers and innovators like him by subscribing to our channel. Doctor, so good to see you here today.
Yes, Logan, thank you for your kind introduction, and it's good to be here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Are you in the East Neck of Fife today?
Oh, it's the East Neuk, N-E-U-K.
Okay.
And it's like the East Corner, the East Nook.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
and
well,
that is an area that spreads from here, Lundin Links. We are the southernmost point, and it spreads along the coast of Fife to St. Andrews. And these are a lot of beautiful little fishing villages, and it's a delightful area to visit.
I've seen the photos. It looks like it's just spectacular. You have beautiful grassy plains, you have beautiful hills, you have beautiful waterfront. You're blessed to live in such a delightful place, Doctor. That's
and of course, it is the home of golf. St. Andrews is the home of golf. And all along this area, we have golf courses. Lundin Links, our village, is named after the golf course.
Gotcha.
Links.
Wonderful. Do you play golf?
It means that we have a beautiful view over the golf course. We can actually see across the Firth of Forth towards Edinburgh. And it's a wide estuary of the Firth of Forth.
Sounds wonderful.
A beautiful part of the world.
Sounds it. It's on my checklist to go visit there for sure. You owe me a pint. We said that last time we spoke. So we'll, when I'm in Scotland, I'm absolutely going to look you up and look up your beautiful region as well. You've written a number of books. This book in particular is about a game changer when it comes to orthodontics, Invisible TransForce Orthodontics. Tell us a little bit about this invention of yours, Doctor, and about your book.
Well, first of all, let's go back a little, because when we think of orthodontics, we think of fixed appliances. Train tracks, that is the nickname. You have a bracket on every tooth, and you have a wire going through the brackets, a bit like a railway, really, train tracks.
Yep, absolutely.
And in the past, that has been the main method to correct irregular teeth to perfection. That's what the train tracks are designed to do. We put beautifully formed wires in the train tracks, and we tie them in, and the teeth move towards the wires so that they are aligned in that way. Of course, today, orthodontics has changed because we now have invisible appliances. And the best known of these is Invisalign.
Yes.
Now, that is something very simple.
Yep.
These are clear appliances that cover the teeth. In fact, I haven't worn them, but they are made for my mouth.
Right. They click in, simple as that. I do the same thing every night. I wear mine.
And they're clear.
Yeah.
So you no longer have the bracket.
Right.
But one appliance like this does virtually nothing. It can only move the teeth fractionally. And what you need to do in Invisalign is you have to change the appliance every 2 weeks.
Yes.
And that means that the teeth move very slowly. You may need 50 or 100 appliances to complete your treatment. That, of course, first of all, would make it very expensive because you have to make all these appliances. But the really limiting factor is that these clear appliances are made in very thin material, but they only move the teeth a fraction at a time. And that's why you need so many appliances. You just correct the teeth a little bit between each appliance, and that can take a long time. Now, our subject today is invisible TransForce orthodontics. That is the name of the game. Can I show you a picture that is on my screen?
Absolutely.
Can I click to that?
Yep.
Okay. You can see that okay?
Yes.
Now, this is invisible TransForce orthodontics. This appliance fits behind the teeth, and this one is to expand the arch. You can see there is a nickel titanium spring in that tube, and it's activated so that it can widen the arch by 8 millimeters in the upper arch. In the lower arch, we have a slightly smaller one that will expand by 6 millimeters. And this is the idea, that we fit the TransForce appliance behind the teeth, and it fits in a tube on the molar, the posterior of the molar. And it's compressed when we fit it, like this, on top, and then it expands. Now, we can use train tracks to finish. Having expanded the arch and corrected the arch width, we can fit some of these brackets, these fixed attachments, to finish the treatment. Now, this is a band that fits on the first molar, and it has a horizontal tube, and the TransForce appliance fits in that tube, and we secure it there with an elastic. It's now fixed to the molars, and it's compressed, and it is going to expand continuously. We just tie it in like this. That's a tie back.
Yes.
So there is the appliance fitting behind the teeth. Of course, you can't see anything. It's all behind the teeth.
Wonderful.
But the beauty of this is it's applying very gentle forces continuously. And it can expand the upper arch by 8 millimeters, the lower arch by 5 millimeters. Now, this is a young girl who has just, she only has her 4 upper permanent incisors. And when we fit the appliance, we can see that the TransForce is compressed, and the anterior teeth are irregular, but it has that spring force, and that works continuously to expand the arch. And the wires on the anterior teeth, behind the anterior teeth, correct the teeth that are out of position. So we go from here. In 8 months, we have expanded both upper and lower arches. And this is where we started, with irregular anterior teeth. After 8 months, and no adjustments.
Amazing.
This is the beauty of it. We fit it, and it works.
Amazing. So you don't have to go to the dentist or orthodontist once a month to get it adjusted. This is basically preloaded, and the pressure expands.
Yes. Typically, now let me explain to you. At the end of my career, I practiced part-time in Portugal. In fact, I treated this patient in Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to Portugal 5 times a year, every 10 weeks. So 10 weeks between visits. And this expand the arch at this stage in the dentition so that when the permanent teeth erupt, there's plenty of room for them. Mm. And we have aligned the teeth at that stage. Now, this is what we were talking about, the old method, fixed appliances, train tracks, they're called. Yeah. And the fact is, we don't need train tracks nearly as much as we used to. And as we progress, we're needing them less and less. But that can be a finishing stage after doing the main correction with the invisible TransForce appliance. We can reduce the time in fixed appliances by 50%, or else we can proceed from TransForce to Invisalign. When we have corrected the main irregularity, we can do the little bits of finishing with either fixed appliances or Invisalign.
Amazing, amazing. And also having the appliance behind your teeth obviously makes a patient more comfortable in social settings. It also means that there won't be any discoloration that you can sometimes get with the train tracks as well, yes, because, you know, your teeth are coated in plastic or, you know, metal for quite some yes time, and they can be quite discoloring. So this is quite an advance. The fact that it doesn't even need to be adjusted by a dentist, it's preloaded with the pressure that it needs to achieve the goal you're desiring, right?
And we're talking about very light forces. 200 grams is the force that the nickel titanium spring delivers. And that is very efficient in moving the teeth.
Amazing, amazing. Now, I remember I've worn both Invisalign and I've had train tracks as well. When I had the train tracks as a kid, when you go to the dentist and they'd tighten them, it would hurt. You'd be in a lot of pain.
Yes.
This sounds like it's a little gentler and more constant, where you're not getting that one-time tightening and then a lot of pain.
You don't get any pain with these light forces.
Amazing.
This is the other design of the expander, the TransForce. We call it the sagittal expander, and that expands anteriorly. Mm-hmm. Instead of having the tube and the coil spring across the palate, now we have it passing from anterior to posterior to fix in the molar tubes.
Wonderful, wonderful. Go ahead. I'm sorry, doctor.
This will do something a bit different. Here, this is a mild malocclusion, really, but the upper and lower incisors are leaning back. Mm. And so to correct them, we should move them forward. Mm. And this can happen very easily and quickly. That's 6 months treatment. Both upper and lower anterior teeth were crowded, just mild crowding in this case. But within 6 months, we have corrected the arch form, and these appliances, the sagittal appliance can now act as a retainer. Mm-hmm. We don't need to take it out immediately. Always after orthodontic treatment, you want to retain the position, the corrected position. So we use the same appliance to retain as we used to move the teeth. Amazing. And that is the sequence in the picture on the left and in the middle. That patient has the invisible sagittal appliances fitted. Mm. And then when that's all finished, you could make just a single invisible retainer. You would then not need to change it. The patient could just wear that to ensure that the teeth stay where we put them. It's really very common to retain after orthodontic treatment.
Yeah.
Now, shall I show another case just now?
Sure, absolutely.
Yes, okay. Well, this is a different type of malocclusion.
Mm-hmm.
This is a teenager, and he didn't want fixed appliances. So we always take x-rays to check the position of the teeth and to plan the treatment. This helps us to plan where we move the teeth. Mm. It's a side view of the face on x-ray. And we take measurements on that. This is part of the planning process. We check where the teeth are before we start and where we're going to move them to. So this boy had both problems in that in the upper arch, that's a transverse appliance because the crowding is in the anterior segment. Now, in the lower arch, on the left, you see a very irregular lower arch, and that is a sagittal problem. We need to use the appliance that will move the teeth forward and make space to align the teeth. So appliance is totally invisible. There is the upper arch, and you can see on the top photograph there that this is a transverse problem. We need to widen the upper arch. And we do that with a transverse TransForce appliance. It just works all the time. You fit it and it works. And that typically is after 4 months. You didn't need 50 appliances to do that. Mm-hmm. You just fitted one appliance. And it's very comfortable. It just fits in the roof of the mouth. So that's after 4 months treatment. That would be the third time I saw that patient. After the appliance was fitted, I fitted the appliance on the first visit. I saw him 2 months later, and then I saw him again another 2 months later. So the time spent with the patient is minimal because the appliance works continuously.
Amazing.
And this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Looking at the palate, you can see the irregularity of the upper anterior teeth. And we adapt these wires that fit behind the teeth. We adapt them to move individual teeth. So as the appliance expands, it will move these teeth out into correct position. Now, in the lower arch, this is a severely crowded lower arch. And Invisalign couldn't begin to look at this. It would just, in fact, it wouldn't look at either of these upper or lower arches. But the transverse appliance has been working for 4 months, and it's expanded, I would say, by about 6 millimeters at this stage. It has a bit more to go. The lower arch is extremely crowded. You seldom see a lower arch that is more irregular than this. So I have fitted the sagittal appliance inside the arch, and these springs, the springs at the side, the coil springs are working all the time. And they're working to advance the lower incisors, the lower anterior teeth, and beginning to make space to align the lower teeth. Now, this is the improvement on the third visit. One visit to fit the appliance, 1 visit in between, and here we are on the third visit.
Amazing. Amazing.
Now, the transverse appliance, this is after 6 months. So we're now talking about the 4th visit. And as the TransForce appliance expands to its limit, you begin to see the arch form correcting. It's a comfortable appliance. So now we have gone to this stage, and the lower arch, with that exceptional amount of crowding, I want to finish it with train tracks. It just needs that extra bit of control. Even that, we couldn't do that with Invisalign. We couldn't correct the alignment. We need the fixed appliance for that.
Amazing.
So we now are 12 months into treatment, and the lower fixed appliance is doing the detailing. That's the lower arch development. That is an exceptionally crowded lower arch.
Amazing. It's quite an innovation, doctor. It's a time saver. It's a money saver. It is a resource saver. You're not sending out weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of plastic devices. It works in cases where plastic devices will not work, where clear aligners do not work. It spares the patient from having to wear those dreaded train tracks for very long, if at all. So this is quite a job you've done here. The appliance is called Invisible TransForce Orthodontics. It is an innovation of Dr. William Clark's, and we're delighted to have him here today on Spotlight. Doctor, before we leave you today, anything you'd like the audience to know?
Well, I'm delighted to have the opportunity to show this, because here I am in Scotland, sitting at home, and there you are in the States recording this, and you can show it to a wide audience. And that's new technology. We can spread the word much more easily than we used to be able to do. So let's just review that patient, the teenager. This is teen TransForce, 16 months treatment. And there he is as an adult. I treated this young boy, perhaps 15 years ago in Portugal, while I was in Scotland. And there he is as an adult. And he's a successful businessman. Perhaps a smile helped him to achieve his objectives in life.
Absolutely.
It's one of the benefits of orthodontic treatment. Now, I want to show you one more patient. We have time, I hope?
Sure.
Yeah. This is a young adult, a 20-year-old. And again, I treated her in Portugal. She was a pharmacist, and she could go to work every day with her appliance, and nobody knew that she was wearing it. Again, I planned the treatment. This is called cephalometrics. We measure the pattern of the face, and we use it to plan the treatment. So here, class 3 malocclusion means that the lower jaw is a little bit prominent here, and the upper arch needs to be developed. We have the crowding of the anterior teeth. There is the appliance on the left. It's just been fitted, and this is after 10 weeks. That would be the next time I saw the patient, because I traveled 5 times a year. I saw patients at 2-month intervals, 10-week intervals. So there we are after 4 months, and you see that the wires that are moving the lateral incisors they are widening the anterior segment. That's after 4 months. And now we can see a visible change in the anterior teeth. She's still working in the pharmacy, but nobody knows she's wearing an appliance. That is the beauty of invisible TransForce orthodontics. It's a patient-friendly appliance. Here we are after 8 months treatment. And it's the magical little coil spring inside that tube that is transforming the arch form. Now, after 11 months, I decided to finish with train tracks, but these are cosmetic brackets. They are a type of plastic. And in the lower arch, there's a little bit of crowding there. So I fitted the sagittal appliance in the lower just to align the anterior teeth. And then I finished detailing the occlusion with upper and lower cosmetic fixed appliances. There we are.
Amazing.
And there we are when we took these tooth-colored brackets off.
Amazing. Quite a difference, quite a change. You change a smile, you change a life, you change the health of that person, because oral health is linked to good overall health as well. Plus, having a winning smile is very important.
Well, one of the main advantages is that it expands the arches and it improves the airway. This improves the patient's health. They can breathe more deeply with that wide, the wide arch form. So there she is after her treatment, before and after in the middle, and then a year later.
Wonderful. Wonderful, doctor. This is quite impressive work. I'm sure these patients of yours who have undergone the treatment are, eternally grateful for all the changes you made in their appearance, all the changes you made in their lives. The name of the device is Invisible TransForce Orthodontics, and it was developed by Dr. William J. Clark. And as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, he is a trailblazer in orthodontics, and he has developed this and other techniques as well. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on Spotlight.
This is my book.
Go ahead.
Invisible TransForce Orthodontics.
Yes.
It is being published by Austin Macaulay. I decided to use a publisher who would reach the public rather than just use a dental publisher. This really gives a wider coverage to the technique.
Absolutely.
I have enjoyed talking with you, Logan, and I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to spread the word.
My pleasure. I appreciate your time, your expertise, your insight, and I enjoy spreading the word to the folks at home about this game changer of an appliance. The name of the book is Invisible TransForce Orthodontics. It is about a device of the same name, and as the doctor has demonstrated here today, it is a game changer when it comes to changing the shape of the mouth.
I don't know if I can show you one more, my other art book. It's called New Horizons in Life, Art, and Poetry. I did all of the artwork in this book, and I did it in the 1980s when I had some time on my hands. In fact, I attended a course, the Paris ABC School of Art. It's excellent. If you are interested in art, that's where you can learn it. And then I produced a book with all of my paintings and drawings that I did in the 1980s. So you may want to look that up as well.
Yep, absolutely. I'm glad you did. It's a beautiful book. It is called New Horizons in Poetry. Give me the full title one more time.
In life, art, and poetry.
And it contains all of the above. It's a beautiful book. Doctor, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you very much, Logan. I have enjoyed it.
I've enjoyed it as well. And to the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.